Antarctica, in the south of the globe, is a very cold region. Researchers have found many discoveries under Antarctica that are shocking, but made them leap for joy. We bring you the most terrifying new discoveries under Antarctica that shocked scientists, so make sure to keep watching till the end of this video. To appreciate the scientific discoveries, it's important to know some facts about Antarctica. The continent of Antarctica makes up most of the Antarctic region, and it's the fifth largest continent in terms of landmass. This means Antarctica can swallow both Oceania and Europe. While we call Antarctica a continent, it does not have a single country. As you might have known, Antarctica is the home of ice. It's dominated by the Arctic ice sheet, the largest single piece of ice on the planet. Interestingly, the ice grows significantly in surface area from about 3 million square kilometers or 1.2 million square miles, about the area of India, to 19 million square kilometers or 7.3 million square miles by winter. What if there was no ice in Antarctica? What will the continent look like? Greater Antarctica or East Antarctica contains older igneous and metamorphic rocks, while Lesser Antarctica or West Antarctica includes younger volcanic and sedimentary rock. Less Antarctica is part of the Ring of Fire, which refers to a tectonically active area around the Pacific Ocean. In fact, Mount Erebus, found on Antarctica's Ross Island, is the southmost active volcano on Earth. But of course, there's ice in Antarctica, making it an extremely cold and dry climate. If you spend winter on the continent coast, you'll have to bear temperatures ranging from -10 degrees Celsius to -30 degrees Celsius. In the summer, you can get around 0 degrees Celsius, but that could increase to 9 degrees Celsius. However, the further into Antarctica you go, the colder it gets. In the mountainous interior regions, temperatures can drop below -60 degrees Celsius in winter and -20 degrees in summer. The coldest temperature ever recorded on Earth was -89.2 degrees Celsius by Russia's Vostok research station. You cannot breathe that chilly air without permanently damaging your lungs. And while Antarctica is known for being a place of ice, it's actually a desert to the continent, which gets only 50 to 100 milliliters, about 3.94 inches of water every year. The Antarctic region has a significant role in global climate processes. It's a very crucial part of the Earth's heat balance. The heat balance, also called the energy balance, is the relationship between the amount of solar heat absorbed by Earth's atmosphere and the amount of heat reflected back into space. Antarctica plays another significant role in your well-being, since it contains a lot of ice, which is more reflective than land or water. Antarctica reflects a large amount of solar radiation away from the Earth's surface. What this implies is that the loss of ice in the continent spells disaster for the planet. Scientists say as the ice surface area decreases, the planet absorbs more solar radiation, causing an unequal heat balance linked to global warming, the current period of climate change. However, this is where it gets interesting. NASA scientists have discovered that climate change has actually caused more ice to form in Antarctica. The explanation is new climate patterns caused by climate change. This creates a strong wind pattern called the polar vortex. It's beautiful, even stunning, but it's also downright dangerous. The effects of the polar vortex winds as they lower temperatures in the Antarctic. This has been building in intensity in recent decades, as much as 15% since 1980. Not all parts of Antarctica have this effect experience. Some parts are experiencing ice melt. On any given day, you will find between 105 and 1,000 people in Antarctica. These are not natives because there are no tribes indigenous to Antarctica, but research scientists and other workers are attached to different stations operating in the region. We will now dive fully into some of the frightening discoveries that they have made. The most recent and exciting is the discovery of a hidden world deep under the Antarctic ice. The scientists that found the underworld reported goosebumps when they simply were not expecting to discover it. This ecosystem was flourishing more than 1,600 feet below the surface of the icy continent. Besides, just found this secret subterranean habitat tucked away beneath the Lawson ice shelf. The last ice shelf is a homogeneous floating sheet of ice attached to the eastern coast of the Antarctic Peninsula that produced the world's largest iceberg last year. Satellite photos showed an unusual groove in the high shelf close to where it met with the land. Researchers identified this particular feature as a subsurface river. The crew then drilled through it about 16,140 feet, or 500 meters below the ice surface. They were able to complete the drilling using a powerful hot water hose, which allowed them to reach the underground chamber where the hidden world was located. When researchers sent a camera down into the cavern, hundreds of tiny blurry flakes in the water obscured the video feedback. The scientists felt there was a problem with their equipment, but when they refocused the camera, they realized that the lens was being swarmed by tiny crustaceans known as empty pots. They did not see this coming because they were not expecting any such thing. So, deep below the surface, experts have long suspected that Antarctica is hiding with an extensive network of rivers, lakes, and estuaries under the ice. Until now, these features have been poorly studied. They did not know whether this network hosted life, which makes the new finding even more important. It was like being the first to enter a hidden world. Meanwhile, more surprises were waiting for the scientists. When they sent their camera down into the river, the team was shocked to discover that the cavern looked entirely different from what they had imagined. It was expected by the researchers that the chamber's roof would be smooth and flat, but instead what they saw was a roof that was very uneven and featured lots of steep undulations. The cavern was also much wider nearer the roof. One other unexpected discovery they made was in the water column underground, split into 4 or 5 distinct layers of water that were flowing in opposite directions. They were forced to change their previous models of the environment. And that's not all the surprise that scientists got from this expedition. The team had arrived above the buried river just a couple of days before the record-shattering eruption of the Tonga-Hunga Harp 1 volcano in Tonga. The massive explosion caused pressure waves that rang Earth's atmosphere like a bell, and sensors the researchers had placed on the icy surface recorded similar pressure waves moving through the underground chamber. Seeing the effect of the Tongan volcano, which erupted 1,000 kilometers away, was quite remarkable. That reminded the scientists that our planet is seriously connected. The next discovery scientists have made in Antarctica can solve problems. The discovery involved a mineral known as the garacite. It's a brittle and yellow-brown substance that was first spotted on Mars in 2004. Nobody expected to find it in Antarctica, and the scientists that found it were not even hunting for it. What they were searching for were minerals that might prove ice age cycles, but they discovered strange dust particles that they thought might be charisite. To confirm the mineral's identity, the scientists and their collaborators measured how it absorbed X-rays. They also examined the grains under powerful electron microscopes, confirming its jarid aside. The particles were also noticeably cracked and devoid of sharp edges, indicating that they had formed and eroded from chemical assaults in pockets within the ice. This discovery suggests geoscience forms the same way on Mars. What is the last thing you would expect to discover in Antarctica? Did you just say pig? If yes, well, you're wrong. Scientists recently discovered pigs in Antarctica during a marine census of southern Antarctica. Of course, this pig is better known as the sea pig. Sea pigs are not just pigs, but a type of sea cucumber that looks very much like real pigs with their puffy legs and plump, oval-shaped pinkish bodies. The scientists deployed a robot known as the submersible, capable of underwritten navigation and imaging into waters beneath the Ross ice shelf. The robot used a hot water drill to bore an 850-foot hole through the ice shelf before it landed in open water. The scientists were expecting to find waters at this depth, but the camera on the robot revealed an unexpected, astonishing glimpse into this subsurface world, consisting of an unusual and likely unique marine biological community dominated by anemones living inside burrows. The lower surface of the high shelf, the camera recorded tens of thousands of these never-captured ice anemones. The anemones immediately scattered from the robots, but the scientists were able to trap some of them and bring them to their station.